good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. I hope you guys have been enjoying your weekends. I hope you are rested. I hope y'all got them kids ready for school. And I hope y'all enjoyed y'all weekend, because this is y'all last weekend of the summer. Alright? But get on in here. If this is your first time tuning in, hello, welcome. Thank you. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. Alright? Now, this download is weird and crazy, okay? There are versions of you that have yet to be created, okay? Now, we've talked about the different versions of you that exist in the future, like your descendants, right? Whatever DNA links are out there on this time or another, this timeline or another, you will be existing on this plane, in this 3D plane, on this timeline, by having children, by your siblings having children, even if it's just one parent that you all share with your siblings, you do still have that same DNA, especially if it is the maternal side or the mom, okay? M for mom, maternal, P for dad, pop. All right, that's how I remembered it. But in all seriousness, this is what the warfare is about when it comes to the attacks on your essence, your purpose, your life goals, the things that you and the Creator are working on together, and the thing that the Creator just has set aside and written for you in all facets, okay? These versions have yet to be created, and they're going to be created in different realms, okay? In different dimensions. And in order for you to do that, you have to first go through these cycles. You have to first complete everything. And before you get to die, before you get to pass over or transition over where you leave this realm, those versions of you have already been established. Okay, your body just needs to make it to your soul on a different timeline. And you may not even get the same gender. You may not get the same facial features. This is why traditionally, like typically, our parents are supposed to die before us. If everything is done correctly, and when I say done correctly, I mean if everything is done in the order, in the fashion that the Creator intended, if you get to break all the spells and the curses, if you're obedient, if you are meeting your marks, those marks come with events and time, okay? If you are doing all that is required of you in order to reach the heights and pinnacles that the Creator wants, those versions of yourself get to develop. You even have other versions of yourself that are directly correlated to this timeline and this dimension that we're currently on. Mainly your future self, your older self. If you don't establish ground rules and follow the course, then the version of yourself that is of your highest good and vibration will also shift, and it won't be in alignment. It'll be lined up with the path that you're walking down. So if you decide to take route A, the version of yourself in the future that is going to be branded or created as a result of this journey will be created. If you want to take route Z, the version of yourself that is created or will become as a result of the decisions that you are making right now will ultimately be created. You don't have to know this person. You only know this future person if you are in alignment, okay? Meaning everything that you're doing, you're on task, you're doing what God wants you to do, you're being obedient, you've answered the call, and you're actively, okay? There's one thing to say, okay, yeah, I know what God wants me to do, but I'm going to sit it down and do my own thing. You're aware, but you're not actively pursuing it. There's a difference, okay? All of us have goals and dreams and things that we would like to do, but if it is not what the Creator intended for us, then we are not in our purpose, okay? And a lot of people are not fully aware of how those alternate versions are actually affecting them, right? You want to make sure that you are in alignment in the best ways possible, in the most ways possible. However it makes sense for you to do so, go ahead and do it. Sometimes, you have to go through these dark night of the souls or all these different lessons. This requires you to close a lot of cycles. So some of the friendships, some of the places, the ideas, everything that you can identify with now as a part of your life sometimes has to be canceled out and done away with in order for this version of yourself to even be born. These versions of yourself are timeless, okay? A lot of people are racing and they're going fast nowhere. But then you have people who are aware. And like I said, this only can happen if you are actively pursuing the correct journey, okay? And because you have a higher and a lower self, right? You have a path that is connected to your highest vibration, and then a path connected to your lowest vibration, and then a bunch of different vibrations in between, right? Those are also other versions of yourself, but they already exist in the realms, okay? The thing is, you are currently only able to live on one timeline as it pertains to your life and your abilities and your understanding of yourself and your connection with the Creator and your connection with everything around you. You are only able to live one version of yourself at a time. This is why you have to do away with certain things in order for a new version of yourself to be born again. Sometimes you have life mates, spirit mates, purpose mates that they too have to shed different versions of themselves in order for you all to be in alignment. Okay? So don't get that confused with hanging out with the wrong crowd. Okay? That's not what that is. And also, you have an ideal version of yourself. You have an ideal version of yourself. And so does the Creator. There are tons of aspects of this dimension, and we all have a space in each timeline. Okay? Your grandma, your great grandma is a version of you, and you are a version of them. And it sounds really weird and like chaotic, but when you actually sit down and think about it, the only difference between you and your mom is your father. The only difference between you and your grandma is your grandfather. It's so crazy, I know. But this is where the warfare comes in, because the lower levels of yourself are afraid of the light, and the higher versions of yourself are sitting in the abundance of the light that the Creator has for you. And the only way for you to attain that is to leave the darkness. The lower levels of yourself, your fear, your stagnation, your addictions, your lust, all of the things that keep you in bondage, all of the things that will keep you from thriving in a higher perspective are connected to the lower level dimensions of you. And as long as you are aware of that, you're in the right space, right? Some people are aware of it. They don't give a damn. They're continuing to go deeper and deeper into the depths of their souls, and they don't have intentions on using that information to be better. They're using that information to manipulate people and to manipulate the timelines. We cannot escape the matrix, right? You can only break out of it, meaning you have to go through it to get through it, right? In order to get to the other side, you have to be fully aware of yourself in all facets. There is no way that you will be able to exist here and now if you don't have an idea of how you'll look when you get older, because your energy is like a cord that's connected to your future self. And a lot of people don't want to hear this shit, right? They just think that they're going to live and die and wake up, and just be fruitful without putting in the work that is required to remain abundant and to be in alignment. You literally have no idea how much hard work is required on your soul's behalf to get across the bridge. You only have a little bit of space and time, and that's the space and time you're operating in right now. You may have a little bit more wiggle room in your dream state. You have a little bit more room in the ethers, right? And this is, again, attached to your awareness of that higher version of yourself. In other words, you have to know that there is room and space for you to exist in another facet in order to create it. If you think that you are going to be this fly ass 20-year-old until you die, then you will never be able to reach the other version of yourself in other timelines and on other dimensions. None of this exists if you don't allow it to. None of this exists if you don't work towards it. Your best bet is to be fully enthralled in your future goals. This is how your future self becomes a thing, right? Now, the parts of you that have yet to be created are connected to whatever it is that you are indulging in right now. There is only one aspect of you that exists in every version. And remember, we spoke about having a higher self and a highest self, okay? The highest version, meaning no more versions above that, right? You shouldn't want to obtain, and we talked about that. I don't want to really get into that, but that's the version of you that once you reach that, you're done. You're out of here, right? There's no more of you existing. Not one version of you is required to submit to the lower version of yourself, meaning once you graduate to get to where you are, you don't move back, right? And you can forgive, actually, the older versions of yourself for not being able to recognize in time all of the things that are required in order for you to meet them. Of course, this happens in time, right? This happens on a schedule, and they're connected to portals. So hopefully, the gist of this message is for you to realize and be fully aware that there are versions of you that have yet to exist, and the only way for them to be created is to be obedient and stay in alignment, okay? So before we go, I just wanted to make sure you guys understood the severity of being able to recognize when you need to be working towards your future self, okay? And we've had similar conversations, but it was more so about the physical aspect of you, right? The things that you need to be doing to meet your marks. This is more so about the spiritual aspect of you, the different versions of you on the different timelines, and your vibration needs to reach a certain plateau in order for those versions to be created, therefore born, okay? And, you know, the dream state you, the you on different timelines, the you in different dimensions, they're all connected to your one soul, okay? Your one purpose. You have a purpose in the soul in each dimension, and it may be the same in each dimension, or it may be different, right? It just depends on what the Creator wants you to do, just try to stay on task with that. All right, but I'm gonna end it here. I do love you all. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea because it's free. Love y'all. Peace.